Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. Colorado 59er here. We're going to do a second episode today. We're going to look at classified versus unclassified with a long tom out on Clear Creek. Been running some test pans and we see some pretty nice colors coming out of some of these gravels right here. I figure this will be the dig site, and I'll probably build the long tom up over here in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on the wash plant, and then we'll see what we do. Alright, well here's the wash plant, all set up, 3 stages, 30-inch Bazooka fluidized bed trap for stage 1, Angus Mackirk Alaskan flare without the flare for stage 2, and then an easy sluice with the flare for stage 3. Stage 1 set up at about 5 degrees, stage 2 set up at about 7 degrees, stage 3 set up at about 9 degrees. So you can see I'm going a little higher angle as opposed to the more conventional lower angle as you go down, and that's because of the difference between the fluidized beds, the drop ripple, and then UR mat down here on the easy sluice. So let's go ahead and see what this wash plant looks like in action. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and see the wash plant in action. We got a bucket full of classified 20 mesh and a bucket full of unclassified. And the timing is as such. To generate 1 shovelful of classified 20 mesh material took me 30 seconds. To run it through the wash plant, I'm timing it at about 5 seconds. You can see the wash plant just eats up these shovelfuls of classified material. Take a look at all the pyrite in that. So about 5 seconds to run it, about 30 seconds to gather it. And you can see nothing going over the grizzlies on the fluidized bed, drop ripples, and an easy sluice UR mat. 9 degrees, 7 degrees, 5 degrees. I like running that gold trap flat with a lot of pressure behind it, like you see here. Good flow upstream from Clear Creek, generating that pressure in the tubes with the grizzly essentially flat. And then I get progressively more angle as I go down the wash plant, so I don't get any hang-ups when we run the unclassified stuff, which you're going to see next. Alright, so I'll finish up this classified material. Again, this stuff is 35 seconds a shovelful. 30 seconds to gather it, 5 seconds to run it. Let's compare that next to unclassified. Alright, moved over to the unclassified bucket now. And can't feed it quite as fast. Also, I have to deal with the tailings as they build up on the grizzly bars here. Take a look. And I try to get them shot all the way past the rest of the wash plant. Now to gather the unclassified material, it's about the same 5 seconds a shovelful that it takes to run the classified. That makes sense. Pick up a shovelful, toss it into a bucket or into a Bazooka Gold Trap, about the same amount of time. But overall what I'm finding is that to run a shovelful through the Grizzly Gold Trap, here I got to deal with it in the bucket. You see I got to scrape, I got to toss it on here, I got to deal with the tailings here. It's about 35 seconds a shovelful to run unclassified. So 35 seconds a shovelful to run it, 5 seconds to gather it. It's about 40 seconds a shovelful to deal with unclassified. Classified was 30 seconds to gather it, 5 seconds to run it. So about the same. I guess it really comes down to capture rate. And if I had to guess, there's no way the capture rate is better with unclassified material than classified in this wash plant. So at this point I'm concluding, go ahead and classify, spend the 30 seconds per shovel full up front to go ahead and classify. It doesn't cost you any extra time relative to dealing with the tailings here at the site of the wash plant. And if anything, your capture rate is probably a little bit better. So there's my conclusion. I encourage everybody to gather this kind of data for themselves, because ultimately the metric for gold mining is time. How many shovelfuls per minute can you run? When I ran my gold cube with classification in episode 1, we found out it was 30 seconds to gather. That's to dig and classify. And then it's another 30 seconds to run it on the gold cube. So I was at 60 seconds a shovelful with the gold cube. I know I had high capture rate. Here, I'm at 40 seconds a shovelful with this unclassified stuff, and 35 seconds a shovelful with classified. So let's check out the capture rate once I finish this unclassified bucket, and we'll see if we think we're up there 90% plus the way. All right, time to clean out the wash plant and see what we think about capture rate. So first test is going to be on the tailings right here. Grabbed a bunch of the tailings in this octapan. Let's check it out. I'm just going to pan it out fast, kind of speed pan it, and see what we think. Get it here in one hand. One of the keys to speed panning is you want to try to stratify and strip the top layer off simultaneously without having to stop and debulk. All right, we get down toward the end here. Boom. You see we're on the deep riffles. So next we just rotate it off to the smaller set of riffles. Strip a couple layers off of there. And then I usually rotate it over to the no riffles and just do 1 or 2 washes. And we're speed panned. I see a lot of garnet already. Let's take a look. And I don't see, I see some gold. I see some gold that's really small, and there's not very much of it. I'd say that's a good result. All right, great. So far so good. It's not like we have a tailings disaster that we're dealing with. I'll check it just one more time. I'm doing it all one-handed, just to make sure we're happy. Roll it around, speed pan it down. Yeah, and I mean, it's not like this thing's loaded with gold. If this were my clean out, I'd be very upset. There's maybe less than 10, maybe minus 200. I mean, really teeny stuff that I could barely see naked eye. All right, so next up, we're gonna clean out the easy sluice. All right, not a lot of material in the easy sluice. We're washing it down. Shake it out there. And let's see. A little bit of bronze, a little bit of black sand. Let's take it over, take a look at it. You could probably skip the big riffles. Just go right to the little riffles on this guy. There's only a teaspoon or 2 of material, which means I was probably having that easy sluice running a little too hot, a little too fast. I could slow that down, capture a little bit more black sand in there. And let's see if it was necessary as a stage 3, or if we can drop it going forward. A lot of black sand. And all right, there's some gold in the corner there. Once again, not very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 maybe. Some pieces bigger than 100 mesh, but only 10, 20 pieces. All right, so far so good. And let's go ahead and go up to stage 2 now. All right, stage 2, Angus Mackirk. it gathered quite a bit more material than the easy sluice since it was running so much slower. When I reset it back up, I'll probably run stage 2 a little faster and stage 3 a little slower. Okay, set that guy aside and let's pan this out. You can see how much material we got here. Whoop. One-handed action. Right over here. Okay. Alright, here's what we got from the Angus. There's very fine gold up the top there. You can just barely see it. There's a lot in count, but there's not a lot by weight. Let's see if I can get that focused. It's so tiny. Some of it was so small, I couldn't even see it, but I could just kind of see a cloud of gold move by as I swirl the water in the pan. On a weight basis, I'm going to guess that that's a few milligrams, less than 10. So let's see what we got in the Bazooka Gold Trap. Alright, here's the clean out from the Bazooka Gold Trap. There's all the gold up top. There's maybe 20 milligrams, and that's probably generous on my part in the Bazooka. There was some lead. See a fishing weight there. There's a piece of lead there. The lead didn't make it through the Bazooka. There's some very, very fine stuff up here as well that you can't see. 1,000 pieces or so that maybe average 50 mesh. A bunch of it's floating there on the water without any jet dry. So if I got 30 milligrams total, 10 from stage 2 and 20 here from stage 1, that would put me at 30 milligrams for 100 shovelfuls. That 0.3 milligrams is the same that I got per shovelful, 0.3 milligrams per shovelful. It's what I got last week down on Clear Creek between Broadway and Washington. So I'm not super surprised by that as a yield. It's not great. In episode 1 with the gold cube, we were running 0.7 milligrams per shovelful. So I think for my next trip, I'll probably get back to the South Platte. And now I know to go ahead and classify at the site of digging. And I'll let you know how we do. Colorado 59er signing off. Thanks for joining me today.